welcome back to Create and Craft with Katie, or welcome if you are new. I've had a lot of new subscribers and I'm so happy, and I decided I'd make you a new video today. Now, many of you will have come over here because you saw my video for the giant sleigh bells that I made last year. Well, today I'm going to make an updated version. I played around a little with some ideas, ways to make it easier for you, plus I'm going to show you a faux galvanized metal look. So if you don't want the flat and you're into the metal, then this one is the video that you want to see. If you haven't seen this video, then I will link it in the description box, and go and have a look at that if this is the one that you'd like to make. I'm first of all going to show you the items that we used. So for the bell itself, you are going to use the mixing bowls from the Dollar Tree. Now, it's quite specific that you use this style, not the squatter ones, because they don't make such a great round shape. These ones, they call them mixing bowls. They're usually with the kitchen utensils, and this is the largest size. This is the bell I'm going to show you today, and it's about 7 inches in diameter, and these are $1 a piece. For the smaller size, the bowls come like this at the Dollar Tree. The smallest and the middle one in a pack, so they are 50 cents each technically, but you'd need to buy 2. And then you've got 2 bells. Here you can see all 3 of them. I will put the link to the actual ones that I use so that you can see and maybe get the SKU off them for asking at the Dollar Tree. But it's definitely these ones you want. The other ones don't make quite such a good round shape. Now this year for the holes, we're going to use a wood burning tool. This one is by Walnut Hollow. It comes with lots of different tips, and it has a heat regulator, so you can go from coolest to warmest. For me, I used it on the hottest because I wanted to get the job done quickly. It says on the box for hard plastic to be in the orange section, but I went in the red section. You're going to see in a little while me make the holes, and I'll be outside. I actually did this yesterday. A good job because the weather is much colder today. I also did my spray painting outside too. Last year we used a drill, so this year we're using a wood burning tool. You need to do it in a place with lots of ventilation because the burning on the plastic gives off some not very nice fumes. So I would suggest doing it outside, or in a very large ventilated area. Plus you don't want your smoke detector to go off because it does smoke just a hair. You're going to want, because we're doing the galvanized look, we need to start with a bright silver paint for your base. Any of the bright ones. There are some more matte, but you really need this because you're only going to see a little of it at the end, but it's going to give you that real metallic look. This one is Krylon brand. Got this from Walmart. I think I got it because it had the 25% extra. Any of the brands will do. Rust-Oleum also make a brilliant silver. The other paints that you're going to need are a white. I use Waverly chalk paint. You need a dark grey. This one is Elephant, also Waverly, and this is what really helped me. This one is Decor Arts Extreme Sheen and metallic paint, and this is in the colour Tin. This is $2.99 from Hobby Lobby. You can always use a coupon or wait until their paints go on sale. Quite often they're 30% off. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the fumes from the glue E6000. It's never really bothered me, but I wanted to give you an alternative. I wouldn't suggest using hot glue apart from just a temporary measure, because eventually it will come apart on the plastic. However, this Crafter's Pick, the ultimate glue, this works on plastic and it works like a super glue, and it is non-toxic. There are no fumes, it dries quickly, in fact a little bit quicker I think than E6000. Again, you can get this is from Hobby Lobby, $5.99. I used a coupon on mine, so I paid $3.49 for mine. I think you can get it at Walmart. You used to be able to. I will find a link from Amazon and put this in the description as well. It really worked just as well as the E6000 and no fumes. You're going to need some cardstock to make the templates for the holes. This is the secret part to it. Now, people have asked me, how do you draw them? Well, it really simply is a circle. Then I used the ruler and drew down and then rounded the end off. It isn't difficult. I don't have a link for one because all I did was look at one of the other bells. You're going to need paint to paint your hole. This time I used a paint marker. You can use any black paint and a paintbrush, but I found it easier with this time. You need a pencil to trace. You need some cording to make the hanger. This one is a little narrower than the nautical rope that I used last time. This is a 4mm craft cord, again from Hobby Lobby, $2.99. You need, for the top, you're going to need some decorations. This time I'm going with some Greenery. These are 97-cent picks from Walmart. I used this one and the berries from this one. I added a ribbon. This one again, Hobby Lobby. It was on sale, it was half price this week, so $3 a roll for 16 feet. And these mini pine cones, these were from Walmart. I think they were $1.97 for 9. You're going to need scissors to cut your rope and your ribbon. And today, just for the sake of speediness for the top, I'm going to use a hot glue gun to attach these, but on my originals I used the ultimate glue. You're also going to need, for the faux metal look, you're going to need a paintbrush. Now this one is a stencil brush. This was from the Dollar Tree, because you need to pounce. And the other tip is to use a piece of paper towel. You'll see how I did it. I did a little research of videos from quite a few years ago of people making this look, and I took a little bit from all the videos to find a way to make it right for me. Now, the first step you're going to do is to make the holes and paint the outside with the spray paint. So this will cut now to a clip from yesterday. So for this part of the project, I've come outside because I'm going to use this wood burning tool instead of the drill that we used last time to make the hole in the top for the cord to go through. I've changed the cord to this 4-ply, this 4mm from Hobby Lobby, instead of the nautical rope, because that was a bit thick. So with this wood burning tool, it has a tip on the end of it that obviously you would engrave on a piece of wood, but you can also use it on plastic. It has different levels of heat. I turn it up full because I want to get this done quickly. You could turn it down and go a bit slower. I come outside not only just because it gives a little bit of a smoke, but it also doesn't smell very good when the plastic is melting. So you push the blade down and you can see that it's starting to smoke. The smell is not nice at all. You push it, and I'm turning it because I want to make it into a hole. And as it is, this particular tip is the perfect size to make a hole for the cord to go through, and you get a perfect circle. This does have a stand, but I haven't brought it out with me, so you have to remember to turn it off. It does stand on its own. And then the next thing that we're going to do, like these that we've already seen, is we're just going to give them a paint spray with this brilliant silver. Because we're going to do these ones as galvanized, we need a really good shine on the underneath coat. Oh, now the spray paint has fully dried, and you can see the holes. The wood burning tool was at the perfect size, and they look like you'd have bought them with the hole already in them. What I forgot to say was that this year we're also going to put jingle bells inside the belt. So what you need to do now is to add the cord. The easiest way to do it is to go down from the outside and back up the other side. Now, this is because I like the look of the knot on the top. Obviously, if you wanted to use, you could use ribbon as your hanger or anything. If you want the knot to be not visible, then you do this the other way around and tie it on the inside, and then your knot will be inside. So you pull the cord to, well, you know, want the hanger part to be, well, as long as you want them. It depends. If you're going to use them outside, then, which is what a lot of people have been saying, hey, it would be really cool to hang it outside, then obviously you want to give yourself a little more leverage, so you may make a longer piece. One tip if you're going to use these outside is, if you get extremely cold weather for a long period of time, I would suggest bringing them in. This plastic is not that durable, I don't think, and I would not be surprised if it didn't crack under a lot of cold. So anyway, I don't want mine so long, so I'm going to cut them. They're about, let's say this piece is probably about 18 inches long. And you simply tie your knot. It's about how long I'd want it, so then you can just trim off the excess. It would be really cute with ribbon used as a hanger, but I wanted to keep this corded look. So the next thing that we're going to do is to attach the two pieces together. Now, as you can see, it already resembles a bell. You're going to, it has a twist up top, so there's no lid to keep taking on and off. And all you're going to do, you'll see it comes out white. It's like Elmer's glue, but it is actually a super glue. What's very good is that, unlike using hot glue, you have a little time to be able to position your lid. There's no way that the hot glue would be dry by the time you got all the way around. It may be okay mixed with another glue so that you've got a very quick hold. And you're going to position. You've got the jingle bells inside. Well, it's obviously optional, but I just thought it was a cute idea. And sandwich the two bowls together. Rub off any excess glue and then put it aside to let it dry. So now that your two bowls are stuck together and that they're dry, you're going to start with the paint effect. The first layer you're going to put on is the white. When you use the stencil brush and take a little of the excess paint off, and you're sort of going to stamp it all across. You're splaying down the bristles. So this is why I use the cheap brush from the Dollar Tree. You could use any that you've got lying around that you're not worried about if you've used them for plenty of projects. Now, you're going to say at first, wow, this isn't looking anything like galvanized metal. However, once you've added the other two paints, you will see how it turns out. So I'm going to continue with this, and then we'll come back and put the next layer on. So now we've done it completely in the white. I know it looks a mess, honest. It's scary when you do it. The first time I did it, I was like, oh no, I've really messed this up. Anyway, you've put such a thin layer on that it's already dry. By the time you've got round, it's already dry. Some of the brush strokes, if I put a larger amount on, I brushed it again with the brush to just dry brush it around. So the next thing you're going to do is add the darker colour. This one, as I say, is Elephant, another Waverly paint. You really don't need very much of it because you don't want to cover it obviously completely and make it totally dark. And can you see that the reasoning behind using the really shiny silver paint underneath is so that it gives it that look. Even though you've aged it with the other paints, you'll have the hints of the silver coming through, which the more layers of paint that you put on them, the more likely it is that it looks like metal. So just like you did with the white, you're going to just sort of pounce it on, building up the colours. Now, you can also use a piece of paper towel to sort of smudge it down and move the paint around. The more layers you get to it, the more lifelike it begins to look. So along with the stamping technique, you can also do a dry brushing technique with just a tiny bit of paint on, because you can see now that you have the bigger splots are where it looks like, you know, it's really aged, and then the other is just looking like it's been sat in a shed for many years. Anyway, I'm now going to do the base of it and then we'll come back. So after putting the white and the elephant on, you could actually leave it now. You could, it's looking quite how it's supposed to look, but for me I needed a bit more metal, and so I went upstairs and looked in my craft paints, and that's when I found that I'd got this one from Hobby Lobby. Again, it's in the colour tin, and it's called Extreme Sheen Metallic Paint. Now this one I'm actually going to apply with a piece of paper towel. I saw somebody do this on a different type of metal finish and thought to myself, I liked the look. So I thought I would give it a go with this, and the two that I've already made, which you'll see at the end, turned out far better than I was expecting. So this is the paint to use. Again, I will link it. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon if you haven't got a Hobby Lobby near you or they don't carry it. So you're gonna have the paint. Now, as you can see, it really is a metallic paint, and you're going to, I only want to use a little bit at a time. You do have to go in lots of different layers on this. It takes obviously longer than this video does, and you're gonna sort of stamp it in a sort of pressing motion over the other paints. So if you can see something that you think, oh, it looks too white there, then you can say, all right, well, I'm going to put a bit more of this metal over it. It's very forgiving. I mean, these sorts of projects, if you've got yourself some time, then, you know, go and do 2 coats and then come back and look at it again. You can always add to it, and in fact with the chalk paint, with a wet cloth, you could even rub it off if you've got it in spaces that you really don't like. But of course the joy of handmade is that it doesn't have to be perfect, because you know that you've put the time and effort into it. Anyway, I'm going to do this all over and then we'll come back. So now we've gone all over with the metal paint. Now if there are parts that you go, I think I could do with a bit more black, a bit more white, you can always go back in with your brush, just a tiny amount, and perhaps say, okay, I need to darken it up a little in a little area here or here. The thing with the paper towel technique is that it gives the bell not just the look, but it gives it the texture. It actually is really rough to the touch. Nowhere at all feeling like the original bowl did. So we're going to let this dry completely, and then when we come back we will be painting on the bell holes. So the next step now is that we're going to paint on the holes. So this is where we use the template. Now I've actually traced these on already to show you. What I did was I lined the first one up with the hole on where the string goes through, and then I turned it upside down so that I could I just eyeballed it really. You could measure it if you wanted to, but I've actually gone round it with the paint pen so that you can actually see the hole, well, the faux hole as it's going to be, and then I'm going to fill it in with this. Now some comments on the last one was that you could use your vinyl cutter and design and cut the holes. That would be great for the one we did last year, which was smooth. The texture is so rough. I wish you could feel it. You'll hear when I paint it with this that I do not think that you will get the vinyl to stick. It's extremely bumpy. You could try, but I wouldn't recommend it because, let me see, I don't know if you can hear. Can you hear when I'm painting? The texture of this is really rough. Anyway, I'm now just going to fill in these holes and then we'll come back and put the finishing touches to it. So now we have the 4 holes painted on the bottom of the bell, and the final part we're doing is just to decorate the top. Now last year we did the funky bow. This year I thought we'd do something a little different, so we'll have greenery on this one. So I took these picks apart. These were the 97-cent ones from Walmart. It took me less than 2 picks to make all 3 bells, and then the berries off these and the pine cones. Now for longevity we want to use this glue, but for today, just so that we can finish it off and I can show you, we're going to use this glue, and we're also going to make a very simple bow. So the first thing we want to do is to add the greenery. So I'll stick that on and then come back to you. So now we're just going to tie a very simple bow, just the same as you tie your shoelaces. Nothing fancy at all, just simply a bow. This ribbon is wired, and so we can adjust it a little. And then just dovetail the ends, makes it look a little more finished, and it actually stops the ribbon from fraying. And so we're going to add this ribbon to the center. I'm going to put some of this on too, so that it stays good, but so that we can get this finished off for you. Put a bit of hot glue on it, just position it with the tail through the loop and press it down. We're going to add pine cone. And the berry. You can use any greenery that you've got, or anything you like for the top, really. I mean, ribbons, greenery, anything. And there you have the finished bell, and I'm just going to go and get you the other sizes to show you them all. So here we have the 3 different size bells from the bowls. They look a little bit different from how they started out. I was really pleased with how these ones turned out, and again, this was the one that started it all last year. I hope that I've given you some options, even if it's a little bit close to Christmas now. You can always get the bowls any time of the year and get ready for next Christmas. I'd like to thank everybody that's subscribed. I'm over 900 subscribers now. I'm edging closer to that 1,000. So if you are watching and haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you know any crafty groups that you'd like to share my videos in, I would love to see that. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. Thank you. Bye.